So we have to be the correction.
Yeah, and we had a long discussion about that, and we had a podcast called Stay or Go. Do you take the time to rebuild your community, or has it gotten so bad where it's a liability or maybe too dangerous for you to go in and deal with that group of young men, and you go somewhere else and you grow where you're planted? That was a very lively debate that we had, and a lot of
Right.
men are caught. They're caught on the fence with that particular question. I have resources. I got it out the mud. I'm doing what I need to do. I know how to invest now, whatever the case may be. Do I take all those resources back to my community and try to build it up, and they sitting here trying to lynch me? Or do I take it somewhere else, and start over, or just try to do the best I can? And I think
Turn
that
the
a lot
other
of
cheek.
men in different communities wrestle with that idea. Go ahead.
Turn the other cheek. That's what I'm gonna
Yeah,
say,
that's
because
a possibility.
they
Yeah,
spit
but
on Jesus. Who am
yeah.
I to not step up for my community?
Well, we use those very analogies. We use Nehemiah, who went back to rebuild Jerusalem. Right, he had a heart to go back to his community and rebuild, despite the opposition. And then we also had examples like Joseph, who was kicked out of his community, he really couldn't go back, and he had to build where he was planted. And really, specifically, even the Black community, even though I don't like talking specifically about the Black community all the time, Black men are kind of at that crossroads where they're like, I want to go back to the community and build. And then you got another group of Black men that are like, man, they've been calling me Uncle Tom since I was, 10 years old. I'm out of here. So resources are being pulled from two different directions. And me and DK talked about this the other day. We may not be able to reconcile resources being pulled all over the place. You got a passport bro movement. You got a save yourself Black man movement, or a save your community Black man movement. And so the Black community is really going through a lot of ups and downs, a lot of ebbs and flows, and we're not sure where it's going to land, because especially the young guys, they don't feel that this problem that they've inherited from Gen X and Gen in previous generations is their problem. They feel it's not their issue to deal with.
I totally agree that some do feel like that. But I will say this: we are working, and it is working. If you don't know the statistics, 2023 was actually one of the, I don't know how to say this, but it was one of the least violent years in over a decade
We're at
in Harrisburg.
okay,
Look up the statistics. That is a true statistic.
but
One of
that
the
may not be
least violent.
but holistically, that may not be the same story for Chicago, New York, San Francisco.
True,
You see what I'm
true.
saying? So if you look at, men in impoverished communities or minority communities or even white communities that may be poor, they're not dealing with that same kind of, bump. So they're like, hey, am I going to stay here and be in guerrilla warfare in Oakland? Or am I getting out of here and taking my resources elsewhere? So this is a question that we don't have good answers to right now.